Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today is maintenance day for our Kaeser air compressor. So it has been 2 years now since Airtower Services came out and installed my Kaeser air compressor, the smart pipe system, and you got the extra storage tank above the office there that holds all the volume of air. All right, they came out a year ago and did a routine inspection on it and to make sure everything was good and everything was fine. And we haven't had any problems with our compressor. I've been really happy with it. But it's time for a full service. So we had it scheduled for today. They're gonna come out. I'm sure they're gonna change oil. They're gonna change some air filters and probably some other things that they need to inspect there as well. And I was hoping to get a little bit of that content to share with you guys to see what kind of maintenance should be done on the Kaeser air compressors annually. And I'm hoping to share that with you guys here on the channel today. So I gotta say that I am absolutely 100% happy with my Kaeser air compressor. It has been rock solid since the day they installed it. It provides clean, dry air to the shop, to the machines, and any other uses that we have here. We can spray paint with it. We can hook it up to equipment. We don't have to worry about moisture in the lines and getting out on the tooling and things like that. So it's been a beautiful system. It runs nice and quiet. I love that it's not intrusive whenever you go to turn it on and it's running whenever we're running the Miltronics or the Flex CNC. It's just a beautiful system and it works really great. I highly recommend Kaeser to anybody looking for a high quality air system for their shop. So guys will be here shortly to get started on the maintenance, and I'm gonna share with you what they find, if there's any issues that they have to address, and what maintenance that they're going to be performing after these 2 years of it being installed, okay? All right, so we have Antonio from Airtower Services here to service our Kaeser air compressor. And I believe he's about to do an oil change on it right now. I found this pretty interesting because I believe you said you use compressed air to drain all the oil?
Yep. Kaeser is one of the few manufacturers that actually allows you to drain the oil under compressed air.
Okay.
So, drain valve open, I control how much pressure I want to feed it.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. That's pretty cool.
You just wait till all the oil is out and I'm done.
How did the oil look? Look pretty good?
Looks pretty clean.
Okay. Well, that's a nifty way to get it all out, isn't it?
Yep, get all the junk and everything out.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about gravity feed.
So I know you're working on the oil. What other kind of things are you going to be checking today on the system?
I will be replacing your oil filter, your air to oil separator, your air filter, which is back here hidden.
Okay.
I've already replaced your oil water separator cartridge.
Oh, that's going to be that guy right over there.
Yep. The old one is in the sink, draining off all the clean water while all the oil stays in it. And then right around the corner here, the yellow container, I'll be changing out that.
Down there. That guy?
That guy, I'll be changing out the filter that's inside of it.
Okay.
If you aren't familiar with Kaeser, their little trick to putting them back on, a lot of people can't figure that out. But
you mean the filter cartridge?
The filter itself, yeah. They'll screw it all the way on, then they can't get the housing on it.
Oh.
It takes you have to be off like about a 1/4 inch, or a 1/4 turn, I should say. And then it slides right in. And then you give it that 1/4 turn to lock it back in place.
Okay.
Oil change complete.
All right. That's pretty nifty right there.
All right, so I just recently replaced this cartridge here, the oil water separator. What it does is every compressor has oil migration, regardless how much it is, very little. But the dryer only pulls out moisture. The rest of it has to go downstream unless you have a filtration system. That's what the yellow container is about. That oil migration, it actually ends up in this container, separates the oil, gets stuck in the filter, and then you have clean water to drain out to the system, whether it's going outside or the environment. It's a plus rating for the EPA system.
Awesome. So that's that guy that's right down there. It's going to do the the oil and water separation, and then the clean water gets drained outside.
Correct.
Just drains out onto the ground. Any oil is going to be trapped there in that filter, correct?
Correct.
Very cool. So there was a little bit of oil in there.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. So it looks like an oil filter, but so what is this guy?
This one's an oil filter.
Okay.
Standard oil filter. It has a bypass spring on the inside in case it gets plugged up.
Okay.
They rather have dirty oil than no oil go through the machine, which is ideal for any machine.
Yeah, okay.
And then this one is your oil separator.
Okay.
Air to oil separator. And this one's going to look a little different. There you go.
All right.
So everything looks the same except for this little chamber on top.
Okay. So new oil filter going
Oil
on.
filter going on. Make sure you lube the seal. And pouring the new oil through the chamber, which is right there, which leads directly into the oil sump.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, so you just pour it right in there.
Right in there, just got to be careful. Make sure I don't get it in here because that's why I separate the air.
Okay.
Go carefully.
And how do you know how much oil to pour in?
Normally it's about 2 quarts,
Okay.
which I like to start off with 2 quarts. I'll run the whole machine after I'm done with that and see where the oil settles. Normally you want to be at about halfway on the sight glass while the machine is making air pressure.
Okay. Makes sense there. So this is our oil level sight down here.
Correct.
All right.
So I'll keep going until I cover the sight glass.
All right. There it goes.
All right.
Now we see it in the sight glass.
Keep going until I complete 2 quarts.
There you go. That looks like it. And you say, so you'll run it, let it cycle,
Yep.
and then.
And there it is, just
Yep.
under 2 quarts.
Yep. Okay. So brand new
Brand new
oil
filter.
water separator filter, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this one has 2 O-rings. Of course, you got the outer one, but then there's also an internal one that seals around the shaft here.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Make sure it gets lubed up. And only hand tight, no tools needed. That's it.
There you go. New filters, new oil. Looking good. All right, so this is going to be the air filter, correct?
Correct. So you have your before picture right there. Here's the new one.
Oh, yep. Got it a little dirty, for sure. All right. So where does this guy go? That's
Goes
over
on this
here,
side,
right?
right above the air end.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Right there.
Yep. And then there's the compressor there.
That's the compressor right there. Normally identified as a supercharger.
Yeah. So what's next?
So we're going to end up doing a software update on the machine. Every compressor with a Sigma 2, they have a firmware update. I know the menu by heart by now. So we're at software 5.1.2. We're going to update this to 6.3.
Okay. What do you have, like a memory card that you put in?
It's just an SD card that goes in
okay.
there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it off. We're going to power it down. Press the emergency stop so it takes.
Special access key.
Special access key modified. All right.
All
Number
right.
3 fuse is for your control fuse, but there's a pin that runs all the way through it. So I got to pull all of them to depowerize it. There you go. All your
Okay.
fuses. Controllers down. Take out the old memory card. Pop in my memory card. And then we just push the fuses in.
Power it back up.
Power it back up and wait for the instructions.
Okay. Very cool. So you said that you have been working on Kaesers now for, you said 9 years, I believe?
Almost 9 years now.
Awesome. So you know these guys really well then.
I try to stay on top of it, yeah. I can pretty much diagnose them over the phone.
That's awesome. Well, we got the right man for the job then.
There you go, check an update version.
All right, we'll let her do her software update. So it's going to accept it.
Here's the old one, the new one, and we're going to say yes, we're going to accept it.
Okay.
Now we let it do its thing.
All right. You know how long this will take?
About 5 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do something else. I'm going to go ahead and drain the air down just so I can replace the filter over there.
Okay. What you working on here?
This is the dryer condenser coil. This is what makes sure your refrigerant is nice and cool.
Yeah.
Want to make sure it's not plugged up or anything. You got oil debris since this is a machine shop.
Yeah.
Just brush it out. You don't want to use compressed here because you don't want to push the dirt into the coils.
Right. Okay.
You want to find a way to clean the coils out.
It looks like that's working perfectly.
I love this brush.
Software update is completed, huh?
Software update complete. Now we just reverse the process.
All right. All right, so that's your new software update. Completed and ready to roll. I love the data that it gives you guys with these Kaeser compressors. You can see the exact run time and anything that it...
You can do everything. What they train you also, that these also have an Ethernet cable, so you can plug this compressor through an Ethernet cable, use the IP address to the controller and the password, and you can see the information on your computer.
Oh, very cool.
So if there's a failure or a fault inside the compressor that you said it's intermittent, I can plug my laptop directly to it, and I can scroll back the days and find out what had happened with it.
Okay, very cool.
And then continue my diagnostics that way.
And I can see that being really huge for companies that have many of these systems in place. Very, much larger than this, but I've been to a couple shops, they have a whole row of these things lined up.
Yes, especially if you have like 3, 4, 100 horsepower compressors.
Yeah. All
going into a master computer. It takes some electrical finesse, in other words, to figure that stuff out.
I hear you. All right, so I believe he's, you said you're draining
the air to work on that next.
Okay.
Once all the air is out, I'll be working on the air dryer to replace the drain.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna prep the old one first and then pull out the other one.
Now this is gonna be the filter.
The filter down there.
This is gonna be, you know, like a filter for the air that's coming out of the dryer.
This one's gonna filter out the oil vapors that were never removed, the oil bypass.
Oh, okay.
So here's the little notch. It screws on. Most people lock it in all the way into the housing, and you don't do that.
Okay.
Because the housing won't fit anymore.
That's why we have the professionals here to service it properly.
Gets a little messy sometimes. No worries.
That's all right.
And this one comes out a quarter turn. Good thing about these filters, they have notches on them. I got 2 lines over here. On the back side, there's 1 line. On that yellow housing, I can see my 2 marks right there.
Yep.
So, make sure it's unlocked all the way. Comes right off.
There it is.
Then you unscrew the old one. This one's pretty dry on the inside.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Everything looks pretty good, even the filter.
Even the filter looks good. So now we're going to do what most people do. They're not Kaeser trained. We're going to go ahead and lock it in place. Nice and snug. The problem with that is it's not going to go in. The fitting for the filter is on this side. So I have to clock it over.
Okay.
That's it. And then
there it is.
Safety pin. Close it all the way down. There's also an O-ring on the inside to seal it. And now it won't go anywhere.
All right, good deal. So now you're going to move over to the dryer, you said,
Moving
right?
over to the dryer, so now I got to disassemble all of that.
All right, so this is your access side for the dryer.
The whole bottom section is the dryer. We're going to be replacing this drain, which is in this little cubby section right here.
Mm-hmm.
Take the service module out. And this is the piece we're going to replace from the bottom to the top right here.
Okay.
So I like to make sure, take my time, work a little easy, and just pull the whole thing out a little bit. That's out.
That's the unit you're replacing there?
This is the unit. This is the drain. This is non-serviceable item.
Okay.
A lot of places says, yeah, you can rebuild it by changing out the rings, but they have lock nuts on it.
Okay.
Only goes on one way.
All right.
So we're gonna put the new one in. And it goes right in here.
All right.
New one going in.
Yep.
Right in its little cubby.
This is the one that doesn't look like it's too much fun to have to replace.
No.
You got
no.
a union back there you have to get to, and the little drain line you have to disconnect.
Yep, drain line gets disconnected, everything gets disconnected. Then you pull the air dryer out just so you can get to that unit so you can replace this. Now you can figure out how to muscle it out, but it's not recommended to muscle it out because you'll break something.
Oh yeah.
And 99% of the equipment here, it's O-ring sealed, so they don't require a lot of torque.
Good.
All right. The way this drain works, it has a little sensing float here. Water gets up in here, reads it through here through the magic of Kaeser. Once it gets to a certain level on the coils, sends the water, all the condensate, to your KCF manifold over there.
Alrighty.
So that goes in one way, goes on, and it clips on.
Nice.
It's on. And I reverse the process.
Yep.
Make
Slide her back in?
Yeah. Make sure you don't forget to open your drain valve.
Oh, okay.
All right. Right now we're going to work on removing and cleaning the scavenge check valve. It is oftentimes overlooked, mostly about 95% of the time, unless you know what you're looking for, only because it's hard to reach. On this unit, some oil migration comes through this line, and it comes to the check valve underneath, which
Okay.
gets sucked into the machine itself and reused. A lot of the time, this gets gummed up with junk. So we're going to take it apart, disassemble it, clean it, and put it back together.
Okay.
Right now, it's just took it apart for camera show. Move that out your way. Grab your 17 mil, sock it in first, then the ratchet, or it won't fit in here properly. There we go.
All right, is that your part there?
This is my little part, my little check valve.
Okay. So what do you do? Do you replace it or you just clean it?
We're just going to clean it out.
Okay.
Take it all the way apart. I will be using your bench on the side,
All right.
and we're going to go ahead and strip it out and take a look at it inside.
Nice. A little bit of bench work.
Yeah.
So you'll just take this apart and just clean it out?
Yep, we'll take a look at inside, look at all the junk that's in there.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a check valve, so there's going to be a spring and a plunger. There's your spring,
Okay.
your back end. This one's not too bad.
Got a little bit of,
Little bit of oil, all that oil comes through.
okay.
Oil blow by. A lot of the time it'll be white sludge all over in this. This is a little thick, I can tell. Little milky.
Okay.
But we just go ahead and clean this up and put it back together.
All right, sounds good.
Nothing fancy, just watch your eye.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
We got the safety glasses on today.
Safety glass.
I was about to say, make sure your safety squints are on, but I do
Yeah.
have my glasses on. Yeah, so just clean
Make
it
sure
out.
it's cleaned
just,
out.
Yeah, just using like a solvent degreaser there.
Just your standard brake clean.
Okay.
Sure there's nothing in it, no debris, no metals.
Yep.
Nice and clean.
Found a
Little
piece
white
of-
sludge.
Okay.
Here it is right here. If you're not careful with it, this buildup will plug up your check valve.
Okay. Yep,
There it
you
is.
can see it now. Yep, there it is.
And then your machine will go through oil, and you will wonder why it's oil migrating too much, because this valve is plugged up. All right, we're good to go. Now time for reassembly.
All right, just put her back together. You're going to use a little bit of your flange sealant. And
Yep, put it back together, reverse the process there. Make sure your mating surfaces are nice and clean.
yep.
Any residual oil in it, and it will not seal. Make sure it's nice and even across all the threads. And in it goes. Doesn't have to be overly torqued. That's it.
Perfect.
Maybe 5 foot-pounds if you're lucky.
And it's
And
ready to
ready to go
reinstall.
on.
Great.
Clean up the other one. Again, that one also has flange sealant on it. Clean that up. That's the old one.
Yep.
Clean it up and do the same thing on the other side.
All righty.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and run test, which I did a little one a few minutes ago just to get it up to temperature. But here we're going to do it again. I'm going to show you a few things here. We're going to be checking for temperature, making sure the fan runs, and oil level down here. Like I said, you want to check it while it's making air pressure. Right now, all the oil is flowing through. It needs a little bit more oil. I like to see it about halfway up
Okay.
while it's making air pressure. We're going to run it and make sure that the fan kicks on when it's supposed to kick on. Normal temperature on these, I like to see them anywhere between 180 and 190. That's where you start burning moisture from the system.
Okay.
And in the process, I'm also checking differential pressure between what the controller is telling me and what the gauge is telling me. That's on the white filter. So I got 103 here. I got 105. So I got 2 to 3 psi differential on that filter. Normally it's 1 to 6 or 1 to 7. So I'm right within spec.
Okay.
So fan came on at about 184. It's spinning, it's doing its job.
I can hear it now.
Yep. Easy way to check it, put a rag on it. Make sure it's spinning the right way. There you go.
I know we have our set. When we set it up, we've got our set, I think it goes to 145 PSI.
145 on this one, okay.
Yep, and then it kicks back on at 105 PSI.
That's perfect. That way you're
And-
not short cycling the machine.
Yeah, and I also know whenever, I always turn it on first thing in the morning. It won't shut off until it gets to that operating temperature.
Correct.
So it'll continue to run and cycle and bypass, basically blow off, I believe.
Yep.
Until it gets to operating temp, and then it'll shut itself down.
Yes. It's an internal programming situation on it, so it works awesome.
All right, well, it just shut down there, so yeah, it got to 145 PSI because we're already at our,
183 is climbing. It'll eventually slow down and shut down.
yeah,
There it goes, coming back down.
okay.
Oil level's coming right back up because pressure's not being used.
Yep.
So as soon as it settles, I will go ahead and add some more oil, finish up giving the actual 2 quarts,
Okay,
and then we'll do another run test, see where it sits.
all right.
Finish topping her off. And bleed out the system and get it to run again.
Yep, kicked on at 105.
All right, so last little check that we do on these machines is to make sure the electrical system. Want to make sure that one, if you're going to work safe on it, high voltage, wear your special equipment. This is not as high of a voltage, so I'm pretty safe on it. I'm just going to look inside to make sure there's no discoloration, no wires are loose or exposed. And I will use my meter to go ahead and grab my proper voltages. and my amperage to make sure the machine is actually healthy.
Okay.
Other than that, visual inspection is always a plus.
Well, I think Antonio's got the service finished up, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much done for the day. Machine is running the way it should be. Oil level is good, wasn't bad coming in. All the filters look pretty good. Drain was still working, no gunk in it. Machine is in really good shape. You know, you want to keep an eye on it pretty much, you know, like the manual says. You know, daily on the oil, weekly, monthly stuff. Check it at least every 3 months thoroughly. Do a full service at least once a year, regardless of hours.
Yeah, okay.
You know, whether you ran the machine for 1 hour, 8,000 hours, you want to make sure you go do that yearly service.
And that's a requirement through Kaeser too,
That's
through
a
their
requirement
warranty.
through Kaeser to keep your 5-year warranty.
Right, okay.
And you have to apply for the 5-year warranty as well.
Yep.
And the service kit that they give you has a serial number on it as well, so they can track that maintenance kit.
Right.
So, and that machine is ready to go online and put some work.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming out and putting your professional touch to it. Glad to see that it's in good working condition and
Yes, sir.
oil's in good shape, filter's in good shape. We're ready to go. We're ready to make some more parts.
Let's go make some more parts and make some more air.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Yep. All righty, guys. Well, Antonio did a fantastic job getting our annual service done on the Kaeser air compressor. You can see we've got a new sticker there. So 1 year from now, or 2,500 hours of service, whichever one comes first. I'll never get 2,500 hours of service on this in 1 year. So we're going to be seeing them again in a year from now to do the annual inspection and any kind of routine maintenance that will be required at that time. But our Kaeser has a clean bill of health. Everything was in good tip-top condition, and it is ready to go for another year solid. So big thanks to Antonio for allowing me to get the camera out and you know, get some video of him working on the Kaeser. I always try to respect everybody's privacy, you know, whether they want to be on video or not. When he came in, I said, hey, do you mind me getting the camera out so that we can get a good video of this and show the annual service work? And he had no problem with it at all. I think he did a fantastic job on video. So big thanks to him and Airtower Services. If you guys are in the Northwest Florida or South Alabama, maybe South Mississippi area, Airtower Services has been in business for a very long time, very reputable, and they surely know their work on Kaesers as well as many other air compressor systems out there. So just a really good, solid company to rely on when it comes to air compressor systems and everything that's involved with that. So I think that's going to wrap this up. I just wanted to share our annual maintenance that we're going to, you know, that we need to take care of on the Kaeser here. It was due, and I just wanted to show you what it takes to do the proper maintenance on the air compressor, on my particular unit anyway. And everything looked good. We had no problems there, no problems with the oil, the filters, everything looked normal. So it's good to go for another year. All right. I got to say, once again, I'm extremely happy with my air compressor. It always is going to provide clean, dry air for anything that you want to do, no matter if it's for a machine tool or a paint gun or even a blast cabinet, which is something that I've entertained putting in here as a small blast cabinet. It'd be perfect. We can just hook it right into the air supply, and if that's the case and I get one, we can hook it right into the air supply. We don't have to worry about any moisture getting in that blast cabinet. So that might be something that we add to the shop here sometime later in the year. I'm still thinking about that. Would like to have a small one in here for doing little restoration jobs and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed sharing it with you, and we will see you on the next video.